This is fire. Walk with me. Check it out. Tyrant Trooper Insane Sickness. This is a fucking bootleg because I do not have $450 to spend on one album. Yes, that is actually what this really goes for now. Tyrant Trooper, man, that glare. We're taking the artwork out because I gotta show you. You need to appreciate this. Was better than Bolt Thrower. This was the United States answer to Bolt Thrower, and I will die on that hill because I love me some Bolt Thrower, but Tyrant Trooper was too good to only release a demo and a full-length album. I mean, man, these guys were fucking riff masters, and they showed up to the game a little bit too late. By 1995, it's not that death metal was, not cool anymore, but it wasn't in its prime, They weren't gonna find themselves on MTV making a music video for this album. Now, Tyrant Trooper was basically a short-lived band. They weren't around for a whole long amount of time, and these guys used to open for lots of great bands, like Disincarnate, which, hold that thought. Right here. They used to open for these guys when they were playing this album. So, yeah, if that tells you anything about the quality level, these guys were fucking excellent. And they were definitely, I hate the word underrated because you just throw it around constantly. But it is a fitting term for them, especially considering they have one album and it's very underground, I would wager. So you got your full lineup here. I'll hold that up for a second so you guys can read. I'm not going to read off everyone's name, but that's the full band. That was the full band from the beginning till the very end. And here's a good picture of them. Got my boy sporting an obituary shirt. Chopped it off. You have to. So good. I highly recommend this one above so many other death metal bands from the 90s. This is really one that they deserve so much better. And now the reason that they have such a cult status is because the album was pressed once, the actual original copy, not this bootleg from Chile, which I guess it wasn't supposed to be a bootleg. It had permission from certain members, but I don't know. Anyways, the original pressing was made once, and it was probably around like 500 copies, of which on Discogs now there's like 100 people, or maybe more than that by now, who claim to own a copy, and the sales history is kind of disgusting. And this happens with a lot of bands that end up doing one release, it's a debut album, and then they split, and that's all they ever put out. Crucifixion from Texas is another good example of that. Or, what is it? There's one on the Brutal Music TV channel. It's, it'll come to me. It has a demonic sacrifice? I think that's it. Anyways, $400 CD. It happens a lot, more than you'd like to believe. Broken Torso, The Ultimate Abhorrence, $350 CD. Some of these bands that were really good, they never got a chance to really explode and catch wind like something along the lines of Malevolent Creation did, doing huge tours, going across into Europe. These bands didn't get that chance to really explode, and then they just kind of vanished. They disappeared. Another one, good example, is Clean Flesh. Really also some good stuff. Basically a proto, what would you even call that? I mean, they were like a proto band. They basically had a new sound that was never seen before, thanks to Joe Wolf's Predator vocals. But Insane Sickness by Tyrant Trooper was a love letter to death metal, in my opinion. It was basically everything that death metal should be. He even got this wicked cool artwork, which is kind of, to me, like a combination of some Warhammer type of material, which, again, bolt thrower, but some Warhammer type of material, and then maybe on the modern end, a little bit like a Dark Souls boss. He looks like he just is ready to fucking fight. And those dual wielding axes, yeah, that's pretty cool. I gotta admit, dig the artwork. Now, it starts with Bonded Through Hate, which, need I say more? If you listen to the first track and you're into it, you're in for a ride, bro, and you're gonna dig this one. I really think this was a band that's like an unsung hero, and I kind of feel bad I forget exactly where they're from. I've listened to the album a ton, and while I'm speaking to you here, I might have to look through the book to see if that actually says. And well, made in USA, Boston, massive two shits. They're from Boston. There you go. And this is why we buy physical copies, because you can learn shit about bands. You don't have to sit there and Google it and go on fucking Genius Lyrics. Boom, you got the lyrics right here. Put the CD on, you're good to go, bro. Nice case, I know. Yeah, Boston, massive two shits. Probably the only really significant act to emerge from there. Maybe I'm ignorant. I'm definitely ignorant. But to my knowledge, so far, this is the one. If you're thinking of that state, then this should be the band. Now, I'm not going to let my runtime go too far here, because it's about as long as the first track. But yeah, Tyrant Trooper, God, the artwork, man, the artwork. Whoever they had do the art for both the demo and the full length. Some good stuff, man. Some good stuff. If good art tells you anything, it's gonna be good music. That you just can't. That's a cardinal sin. You can't have good art and a shit ass album. That is that's disgusting. I'll report you to the police like immediately. So yeah, open for Disincarnate, equally as fucking cool. We will talk about them in the future. So stay tuned. More obscure shit coming your way. Tyrant Troopers Insane Sickness. Rock on.